everybody, welcome to the channel. If you're here, I can't see the comments, so we're gonna tap right in and get us read. Today is June 13th, Friday the 13th. I did not even realize it, but here we are. It's 2025 and the time is 4:52 p.m. I hope you're doing well. Let's tap right in and get us a message. Collective energy, please, Spirit. Collective energy. Storyline for the collective, please. What do we got going on in this planetary thing? There's so much chaos, you know? We got folks out there trying to destroy the happiness in others. Happiness haters everywhere. I'm being threatened. So then they, you got to go out and destroy, disrupt, get people sad, get people afraid, get people, in fear of going outside and saying anything freely because they could be removed from the area, they could be hurt in the area, they could be arrested, anything could happen. Because we have no stability. And unfortunately, false stability comes from false alarms, which are met with false savior moves. Right? Anyway. Storyline for the collective, please. What do we got going on in this world? It's so crazy to me. Chaos everywhere. We got a whole bunch of starseeds out there, light-bearing people. And there's a force that seems to be attempting to take action against the brightness, the courageousness, the vibrancy of the people that are wanting change, that are actually voicing that and their concerns. And there seems to be a greater and greater rebelling against that, like, how dare you speak? That's a stupid question. How dare you even think that? And then they try to belittle people and make people feel small and insignificant, unneeded, unwanted, violated. So we got the light-bearing beings, and then we have those beings who really get off on and enjoy the energy of suffering, the energy of fear, and then they enjoy being the one to tell you exactly what you need to do in order to fix yourself, because obviously you presenting yourself with free and open ideas about the changes that you desire, that they refuse to listen to, weren't good enough. So they want to come in, stop you from speaking, and then they want to tell you what the solution for whatever that is. This could be in many different instances, because a lot of people are wanting to say, hey, they're shining brightly. They don't even really have to say anything. They just have to be present. The energy is getting so high and so vibrant that low vibrational people can't stand it. So they gotta force suffering into the atmosphere, one way or the other. And this is all over the world. All over the world, you've got people who are shining brightly, bringing forth happy, loving energy, Even if they're alone, they're happy and they're dancing in their living room or doing whatever they're doing, singing their songs, and they're just putting out this magnificent, powerful, high frequency light energy and vibration. And there are low vibrational entities here posing as human who just don't feel comfortable in that energy. So they gotta create suffering. They've gotta create chaos. They can't survive in this high energy. It's freaking them out. They're losing their minds. So we've got the light carrying entities, which would be Homo sapiens and others. And then we've got the lower vibrational entities that really despise happiness and ease. So how's that situation, Spirit? For light versus dark, I guess you could call it. What's going on? Of course, I'm going to read the positives as the light-bearing people's energy. Whoa. In the central energy, please spirit, for light versus dark. Central energy for light versus dark. We got chaos versus peace. What do we got going on? The Lovers. Love, man. Unity. The strength of two together. And there's not just two, there are many. Pairing up, power couples. They're very passionate together, and they're very passionate about their work together. They want their family. They want their stability. They want enough so that they can focus on the love that is in them rather than survival. In the challenge position, Five of Wands. Clashing. These lower vibrational entities can't stand the fact that you power couples are out there strong together. They can't stand it. So they're fighting against you. They want to create conflict. They want to create, you know, they want to get you back in survival mode. They want to get you back in, you know, that fear energy. In the subconscious, the Chariot. So you're going to be victorious over this. The power of two, darling. Isn't that funny? I guess in the occult they say power of three or whatever. I'm not a witch, so I don't know that stuff. But here we've got the power of two. The duo wins the prize or wins the chariot. They got their chariot here. They got a victory. They're going on a journey. They're going to leave it behind. And you got folks who don't want that, you know. They want to trap people. And they're forcing it by what they're doing is they're attacking the flesh temple. They're attacking the spirit within the flesh temple by attacking the flesh temple. In the recent past, Tower, man. So they're having a tower. Apparently a lot of people are going nuts in the noggin there. So that's what it is, see? All this dark magic and all of that is coming back on them. It's like the Most High Divine is here saying enough is enough and delivering back all this dark magic and all this black energy that they've been dumping out into the world. So they're losing their mind. I've heard them stating, you know, in the unseen, these nefarious ones, how people are being heavily sedated, like they're losing it. They're hurting themselves. I heard this morning that they're ambushing everybody. So apparently, you know, God's team, God's family, the Most High's family, the Most High Divine, and you know, they're scary, man, but they're also very, very powerful, and they're out there ambushing people. These light-bearing people. These ones who want to bring about change, but not change, you know, for the benefit of, you know, a new leader or a new this or a new that, but change, really get away from the fear and the survival and the suffering and the do as I say, not as I do kind of stuff, you know? So anyway, they're in a tower. They're in a tower. They're in a mental tower. They're in an energetic tower. All this dark magic is coming back on them. They got to make some mass, they got to not only cause suffering, but they need energy. So they're out there wanting to cause nefariously some damaging situations for flesh temples. They need the energy. They need to bring balance and harmony to themselves and their collective, and they don't have the energy to do it. They need to harvest some energy. And they want to do it under the guise of your, of somebody else's or their own dangerous situation. And they got to do this nasty thing to hurt other people to protect themselves when it's all a manufactured crisis caused by the need from their own circumstances. It's crazy, man. Okay, so intentions and expectations. Yeah, so they're in a tower. They got disconnected. They could be disconnected. They don't like the cup that they've been offered, and the offer that they're receiving is their intentions will be their gift. They've been putting out a lot of nastiness in the world, and the Most High is delivering it right back. They don't like their cup. They got disconnected. They got disconnected from minds. They got disconnected from energies. So everybody's energy is cranking up, right? Because there's not as much harvesting going on, and they're desperate. They're going crazy. In the near future, the Fool. Well, we have a new beginning. There is a new beginning in the near future. Trust in life. A new journey where you will be filled with optimism, wonder, and courage. Blind faith. The lens is being looked through. Ace of Cups. Love, man. You got love. You got light. You've got passion. And you've got this victory here with the Chariot. These people are in a tower. They got disconnected. They need energy. They need people in a state of fear. They need that lower vibrational energy, because the only way they can offload what's happening to them is if people are in that lower vibrational south node state. It's the only way they can get it to stick to them. They all know this. In the environment, the Two of Pentacles, negotiations. Bringing balance. There's a lot of things going on, so there's some negotiations. Weighing your options. Hopes and fears. Knight of Wands. Now is the time to go for it. Be committed to your purpose and vision and do whatever it takes to bring your goals to life, because you know that your potential is limitless. Your energy is high right now. But be sure that you're thinking before acting so that you don't stumble over your own feet. Unpredictability. The outcome. Four of Wands. Freedom. You're leaving, you're in your Chariot, you know, and so it's like your life, Spirit Divine said a while back that your life is punishment. It's like the fact that you live the fact that you're shining brightly, that you're living, it's like you're going to get in that chariot and you're going on, you're going to the next realm, the next, I think there's a whole new universe out there. And you're leaving, you've got your freedom. There's a reunion here. You could have a new, beautiful, you know, community and domestic life that your soul knows is how it's supposed to be. I mean, this is, it's like there's a bifurcation or a trifurcation. There may be an event. And I don't know if it's just going to be like a timeline split. Like maybe you're just going to wake up one day in your same house, but you'll be in a different space and place. I mean, I was in an accident once, and I think I died because I had a vision where there were two women telling me, breathe, breathe. So I think in one timeline I actually died, but in the timeline that I was in, I was alive. So, but for 2 days I walked around like a zombie because I felt like I was dead. So it's like my spirit had to catch up to me or something like that. I don't know. So I know that it's possible to actually die but still live. You're just in a different timeline or a different whatever. I don't know how that works, but it happened to me. So it could just be that we're going to have like a timeline split. You're going to wake up one day and it's going to be a whole new energy. It's like dying and coming back to life. And that's why, you know, some people say that there's no death, right? Because there's not. It's like the physical vessel in one realm like perishes, but the soul and the spirit kind of just pop into a new experience, right? Like, whoa, that was crazy. Anyway, on the bottom of the deck, you've got the King of Swords and the King of Pentacles here. So there's truth and security, a protective, reliable presence here. And there's discipline, but it's according to the truth, right? And they're being very protective regarding new love. New love, making plans for the future, right? All right. Well, it looks like love wins. It looks like you're going to get in your chariot and you're going to blast right out of here, you know. And I heard the divine say not too long ago, too, that if you want to create a world of violence you shall have. And your intentions shall be your gift. I've heard the curator and his buddies talking about how beautiful it is over there. So there's another universe, there's another timeline, there's another space or place. And apparently they can look into it or something. They can look into it. And it's beautiful, I guess. Vibrant, lovely. You're going to go there. These guys are in a tower. They're in a tower. They're desperate to get some energy. They're desperate to get suffering energy. They're desperate, and not just that, they're desperate to get people into a state of suffering so that they can offload this tower that they're in. That's how they do it, you know? They get some really crappy energy and they got to put somebody else in suffering so that they can do their whatever and then put that project that energy onto them. So the strength of two together is here. There's a divine union, and you could take it micro, macro, however it resonates for you. And we've got the moon. So there could be something hidden here. They might be hiding something. Somebody's afraid. of this strength of 2 together. You got the strength of 2 together is causing fear and anxiety. There is this competition, 5 of Wands. It's a challenge. So somebody's challenged by this conflict. And we've got somebody's challenged by the conflict. We got 10 of Wands here. Could be the completion of your heavy burden, or they may be in a heavy burden now, and that's why they're having fear and anxiety, because the strength of 2 together. The power couples in this other space and place. And then we got the world here too. So it's a completion of a cycle. We've got completion, completion. There's this conflict here is the challenge, and you've got 10 of Wands. You were carrying a lot of burdens. This is a completion of that 10 of Wands, and we got the world, a definite completion. And somebody's having fear and anxiety because you're together. And you got your Chariot here, a victory. You're going on a journey. You're leaving, right? They could not. Your life is a punishment. And I'm trying to figure that out. And I think the only way that that could be is if they like poof go into the new place and leave these guys in their timeline of doom and gloom, you know, where they're in a forever tower or something. I don't know. But they're trying to like what? Pull people into that with them. They're trying to harvest people to get into that with them. They need people in a state of suffering so that they can attach and then claim. I don't know. It's something like that. So we got the Chariot here, and we've got the King of Pentacles. Yeah, you got your money. You got the money. You got your, this is a, you got your discipline, your abundance, your prosperity. You got the wealth. The wealth that they were fighting you for, you've got it. And they're in a tower here. Doom and gloom is in a tower. Doom and gloom is in a tower. And the community celebrates. There's celebration. There's a return of their bad deeds in the world, their intentions or their gift. The Most High Divine said that's the way it goes, and they're in a tower. And there's a celebration within the community. They're happy about it. And we've got the 4 of Cups. They're disconnected. Disconnected. They're trying to reconnect. What are they trying to do? There's something about consciousness, right? And the connection to the divine. What are they trying to do? Are they trying to, they're trying to trap consciousness so that they can, they got to put it in South Node. They're being disconnected. They need that connection. Again, your new beginning. They're being disconnected from this new beginning. They're stuck in this state of endless war or whatever, and they're trying to take people with them or whatever. I got a bad message about somebody, you know, one of these nefarious ones wanting to plant an explosive at a protest so that they could have an excuse to bring in, you know, military force. And I was like, that's wild, man. I mean, they're really seriously needing people in South Node. They don't want, see, and it's like the lion rises, right? Who do they say the lion is? Yahshua. The Christ is rising within all the people, and they're courageous, and they're moving forward, and they're expressing their desire to have change, and all of the magic and all of the icky black energy is going back on these people. The divine also said that they were going to be the new fodder, so I don't know. They could be having some difficulties with whatever dark spirits that they've been working with. If they're not able to feed them light energy, then then they're the fodder. So they're disconnected from your new beginning right there, and then intentions and expectations. And here in the near future, you've got the Fool again. The new beginning, the Fool, the Fool. An adventure, a new opportunity, blind faith. You're just stepping into it. You've got to trust and have, you know, I mean, these guys have given everybody PTSD, man. And they're trying to amp up in that process right there. Yeah, you've got the Four of Swords here. So you've got the Fool here. We got the Four of Swords. You're about ready to rest and relax. There's a recuperation coming. We could be near, very near this split. We've got the Ace of Cups here, so there's love, compassion, proposals and marriage. And one of my visions, I saw there were like 2 levels in the like dimensional realms, right? It was like I saw the levels. You know, it's kind of like parking garage things, you know, where you park and then it goes woo, and then it takes you to another level or whatever. It was kind of like that. So there was like a half page of paper, and there was a few lines on it. It was like a contract, and then there was a woman, a young woman on this plane, and then up on the upper plane there was a very large masculine, and he kind of leaned down, and they kissed, and they sealed the deal. So there's like marriages that are loving, you know, with these so there's actual spiritual marriages that have taken place, and they're together here, and it's like stuff is happening. It's like these masculines from upper realms are here right now, just, you know, visiting these other masculines that wanted to create a world of violence. This is wild. So yeah, we got love and compassion. We got these new marriages, these new connections. They were really trying to keep these people apart because they knew how powerful they would be. They knew that they would be sitting here casting judgment on their actions. They knew that they would be rising up and courage and vocalizing it. And they knew that their energy would be potent and powerful, and low vibrational beings, they actually suffer. You know, one of the last things that my mother said to me the last time I saw her, because I was so happy, I hadn't seen her in like 7 years, and I was just talking. And then a little while later, she told me that it hurt to be around me. And my mother was a very low vibrational narcissist. She's gone now, but I did not know, I mean, that my energy actually caused her pain. And so that seems to be kind of what's going on in this circumstance here. The lower vibrational narcissists, they cannot stand your happiness. And they cannot stand your happiness and your passionate love, you know. Even if right now it feels like it's a fantasy and you're sitting there all by yourself, you're connected. You're connected and you're potent. Yeah, we got the devil in the reverse. You got the Ace of Cups, proposals and marriage, but you've got your freedom from this devil here. Restoring control. You're not dealing with this entity anymore. Love is not dealing with the devil anymore. They're detached. They're detached. Up here with the Four of Cups, disconnected in a tower. They're going wacky. We've got the Two of Pentacles here, weighing options, trying to negotiate, you know, bring balance and harmony to whatever this. It's a really dark energy. They need to balance it. Wish come true. It could be that your management of multiple things, like this is an enterprise, this is worldwide, this is in places that they're not talking about on the news. Towns and villages and safe places, you know, where people have been hiding, but energetically they're seen. It's wild. So, but there's like you got multiple things that you're juggling and you're managing them. We've got a wish come true, strength, a completion, your ability to maintain balance even while people are bringing you this chaos is bringing you a wish come true. It's a completion, your strength, your compassion. We got the Knight of Wands here. So your potential is limitless. You got lots of energy. Hanged Man. That could be somebody, well, hopes and fears. It maybe is seeing from a new perspective. But we've got release too. There's something unpredictable. There's something being released. We've got the Four of Wands here, so there's freedom and marriage and harmony within the community. There's definitely going to be a step. There's going to be like you're going to wake up one morning, you're going to feel a little lighter. I think that's what it is. It's just like you know, people say dimensions, like it's in a whole new place. But I think it's like in one place I saw, in one vision I had, there was like regular house, right? But there was a whole, there was a spot in the ceiling, and I looked up there and there was like a whole nother house up there that people were living in. And I went up there and there were beings that were, they were humanoid, but they did not have skin like a human. They didn't have hair. They were obviously a different species. And they were in the upper dimension. It was upper dimension. And so I think that, you know, when we shift, it's like, it's just going to be like one of these things. You won't even recognize it, I don't think. It's like you're just going to be shifted. So you got domestic happiness here and harmony. And again, the Two of Pentacles. You're still able to manage multiple priorities and bring balance to them. Your ability to balance brings you a wish come true. You've got the Four of Wands, beautiful reunion there in an upper dimension, and you're still managing multiple things. It's like you've been tested as to like the load that you can carry. How many things were happening to you at the same time, trying to just tear you apart, trying to just destroy your world, yet somehow you managed them all and kind of held it together, you know? That skill that not everybody has. So you're still doing that. And that could be, and truth, right? The truth here, you got the truth is bringing disappointment to these other people. These other people, the light has shined on them. These other people are in disappointment because the illusions have been busted wide open. Everybody can see them. Everybody knows the truth of them. Oh, and we got the Queen of Pentacles and the High Priestess here. So they're together. I see this one, you know, like the Queen of Pentacles is like a mother-in-law or something. A protectress. And it's like there's a financial loss to these ones that are in a tower. They're losing stuff, and that's the law of cause and effect. That's justice. The love of the divine masculine is sitting here dealing with this competition. You know, I mean, competition. There were a lot of lower vibrational masculines who wanted to trap these angelic feminines, you know, into lower vibrational states of suffering so that they could continue to harvest their root and their sacral energy. So the love of divine masculine is fighting for that. And because why? Because he wants truth. He wants a true, clear-minded, you know, woman by his side or whatever. And we got the emperor here, and he's all fired up with the King of Wands, overcoming challenges and providing a stable and protected foundation. Interesting. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks for being here. Oh, here, let me get some more of this for you. So it looks to me like we're darn near a timeline split or a dimensional shift. We're very near a dimensional shift. People are very upset about it. And you may have a script running through your mind, a low vibrational script of unfaithfulness, of disloyalty, of how this is just the way it is, or, you know, something that has caused you to just shut your heart down or to let it go. And that's because these people are in a tower and they're trying to project that low vibrational mental mess onto you. And it might be a little, it might not be too difficult, especially if your triggers, you know, your wounding, your emotional wounding isn't quite healed, or if you just had an overabundance of it and you're very, very sensitive, you know. Anyway, they're trying to get into that business there. So we got the strength of two together. It's a deep love. It's a passionate love, and it's causing this rivalry, fear, and anxiety. They want forgiveness, but it came out kind of like that. So that would, to me, would be forgiveness in the reverse. So they're not receiving forgiveness. They're not forgiven. They messed up. We got conflict, and you were carrying 10 wands. You were completely overwhelmed, and yet you managed it here with the Two of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles. You were like juggle, juggle, juggle. And that's over now because we got the World here too. It's a completion of this cycle. They're afraid. They're like, they didn't receive forgiveness. They didn't get God's grace. They weren't welcomed into the upper dimensional space. They need to cause suffering so that they can project and ensnare. We've got mend in the reverse. They can't mend this connection. They can't mend the connection. This is desperation. You're in your chariot. You got the wealth. Third party. Third party. Third party enemies. They're having fear and anxiety. They were not forgiven. And you've got this King of Pentacles here. I don't know. It's like discipline. It's like discipline. It's like a wealth of discipline. I don't know what's going on. There's a chariot. There's a shift. There's the truth out. King of Pentacles, you know, he could be the one whose job it is to pull people out of their comfort zone. I mean, maybe that's what he's doing. He's dealing with the wealth. He could be dealing with the abundance or the amount of crap these guys were putting into the world, and that's the tower that's being delivered. Tower delivered. Chaos. And there's celebration over it. They're in chaos. We've got unfinished business, so there's things that are still being resolved. You got somebody, it's like the pulling at the, you know, at the riverbank, you know, as you're floating down this raging river or something. They got disconnected, Four of Cups. They got disconnected from this new beginning. And they feel like part of them is missing without you. So They got disconnected from your light. They got disconnected from your energy. And the Most High God is like returning all of the black energy and all of the nastiness that they have been putting out into the world. They really feel your absence because you were their processing unit. They could just throw you into South Node and then stick all their crap on you, and then you would have to transmute it, you know? They're really feeling your absence. You have the new beginning. You're resting, you're recuperating. You're recuperating from all the neglect. Ace of Cups. So there's a whole big cup of love here, a proposal, a marriage. You've got your freedom from this devilish energy or from codependency. You're restoring control, releasing these attachments. And you're irreplaceable. The way you love can never be matched. Two of Pentacles, multiple priorities you've been balancing. You've been really working hard at bringing harmony into this. And you know, sometimes when things are really bad, it's like, for me, it was like, you know, I was always like 30% in the future, 30% in the past, and I was like 40% present, if I was even that, because usually there was some kind of chaos happening, right, that was interfering with my focus. And then when over 20 years ago, when I was caught up in this mess, it's like I had to draw that back in, right? I had to draw it back in. I had to be 100% present because, well, you're fighting for your life and your soul, right? Your mind, everything. Anyway, I forgot where I was going with that. You're managing, managing multiple priorities. So you got all this stuff going on. You have to draw all of yourself inward, and then you got to work it, manage it. Sometimes you got to expand out. Once you bring it all in, you have to magnify it and then go out with it to kind of encompass whatever the issue is that needs a solution. But you did very well, and you got the 9 of Cups here. It brings your wish come true. You're emotionally stable. You know, and there's a lot of people out there that are in these towers, and they're trying to say how you're not. They're still trying to project mental instability onto you, but you aren't. They're saying, oh, well, you know, you're stable because of this or because of that, but they're just trying to convince themselves they're in a freaking tower. Oh, look, you got a wish come true and a commitment. Commitment. Yeah, you're stepping up. You're going to step up. There's like, you're going up a grade. You graduated Earth School. You're going to step up. But we do have a Knight of Wands here that's, he's unpredictable. Passionate guy, unpredictable. You may be having some trepidation. There may be a fear that you're going to get targeted by some passion project participant or whatever. But there's a Hangman here too, so there's letting go. Like those ones are being let go. It's kind of like Prince Charming is being let go. Your hope is that you won't have to deal with that anymore. You're letting it go. They'll surrender. They're stopping. Maybe they're seeing things from a new perspective. Maybe that's the hope. Understanding. I see your side of the story. It could be that they're having a new perspective. They understand. We've got the 4 of Wands here, so there's reunions. So there is a graduation. And these energies here, the mental dialogue that they're trying to project out to bring people into a south node state. Yeah. They're real upset that there's this dimensional shift. They called it a whole new universe. So I don't know if it's an actual, if that's all it is a dimensional shift, or if it's like a time space quantum continuum, you know. But it could just be like that, accident was, where, you know, in one space I actually, you know, it was like I hit a telephone pole in my Honda del Sol, and in one space I had hit it head on, and the engine crushed me, and there were women there trying to revive me. But in the timeline where I survived, I got a little, I hit it, I rear-ended it, and the pole came up between the two rear tires, and it stopped right at the roll bar, and it went boom, and I looked, and it's like boom, there's this big tree right there, and I bumped my head on the window, but it was like wild. In one timeline I actually perished. It was wild. But I think that that's how a timeline, dimensional, quantum continuum, particle event stuff happens. I don't know if there's a particle event, or if it's just a, it happens so fast. Hope. So, yeah, you've got this reunion here, freedom and marriage, proposals and marriage. You're still managing multiple priorities. You're very capable of managing yourself when lots and lots and lots and lots of stuff is going on. You've proved yourself stable. You've proved yourself, you know, an emotionally balanced person, or at least somebody who can bring it in when necessary. And you never gave up hope for this. There's hope. Haven't given up hope on us yet. So yeah, those with values about money, those who were materialistically inclined to the, you know, exorbitant, whatever issue, they're being held back and they're looking for an escape. It's like they need lower vibrational energy. They need to project and offload this tower. They need to put people in a state of suffering, in a state of fear. It's a plan. It could be that people are remembering how to love themselves, or people will remember how to love themselves in the new chapter. Maybe somebody's remembering. Maybe you're going to tell jokes. You're going to have fun. You got a new chapter here. This reflection is confused. They didn't appreciate the beauty, and you're out of here. You got a new soul tie that you're connected to, always. And these ones don't know what to do. There was dissatisfaction with the way things were going. And it's too late for those who have been found unworthy due to the truth being revealed to take any action. So they're desperately trying. This is what it is. It's exactly what it is. They need people in a state of suffering, in a state of fear, in a state of trauma, so that they can project this tower onto them. So I would suggest that no matter what happens, know that, and remain calm. They're planning on doing a bad thing, you know, where people will get hurt, and so there could be panic. If people panic, then other people are going to get hurt. I don't think if that happens, if they actually follow through with what they said they were going to do, then they'll call in the military. It'll be the perfect excuse to bring the military in and then detain and hurt people. And who knows what's going to happen after that. So I would just suggest, please be calm, no matter what happens, because it's that energy thing, right? Chaos energy, fear energy, oh my God, energy, kind of that. somebody's afraid. They're in fear and anxiety over the strength of two together, over these lovers coming together. They're not forgiven. They're not being forgiven for what they've done to love. For the attacks, for this conflict against love, this third party, you know, disloyal, thievery, you know, binding kind of stuff. They're not being forgiven. Their cup is empty. Yeah, these power couples, they're like, no, we don't forgive you. They're having premonitions. They could be having dreams. They might be having visions. In the challenge section here, we've got rivalry and conflict. We've got the 10 of Wands burden. They may be feeling heavily burdened. It is the completion of your 10 of Wands burden because we got the World card here. It's a completion for you, and they're not mending this connection. It's like, nope, your cup is empty. We're not filling your cup for you. And they're mad. They're mad. They're like, oh, yes, you will fill my cup. No, they lost. They lost. Their cup is empty. They're trying desperately to fill their cup with energy, with consciousness that is source connected. But honestly, I think the Most High Divine knows exactly what's happening here and has every single soul they're known. They're known. So whatever happens, you're in your chariot here, and you got this King of Pentacles here, and he looks like he's disciplining, or he's bringing about discipline for the third party. There's a wealth of discipline here coming for the third parties. Those who were not faithful. Oh, the third parties that were tempted by the snake. He's delivering a wealth of discipline. They're in a tower. They're in a tower right now. We've got celebration, though, and unfinished business. Crazy drama. Crazy drama. They could be in a crazy drama. And it says, this card says, this is just the recent past. It says, crazy drama makes for wild adventures, but not peace. How far are you willing to go? Well, some people are willing to go way far. They're in a Four of Cups energy. They got disconnected from your new beginning, and they're feeling your absence. They're feeling your absence. You were the transmuter of dark energy. You light beings were the transmuter of dark energy, and the fact that the lovers are together, they can't tap into your energy anymore. You're very protected, and they're stuck in the moon. They're in the dark. They don't have the energy. It's like they're in the dark, and it could be in the mental body. They're having a tower in their mind. They're feeling the absence of this diamond or diamonds. They're feeling the absence of your light. Got the Fool card here. There's new beginnings for the innocent, right? You're recuperating from the neglect, or you will in the near future. Oh, we got fierce. And it's so funny that there is an operation out there called, what is it called? The Rising Lion, Operation Rising Lion or something like that. You know, they don't like the fact that the Christed beings are rising in the energetic essence of the sun. They can't stand that you're shining so bright like the sun. It's making people sick. They can't stick their projections onto you. You're being fierce. Oh, look at that. We got the Ace of Cups here. Proposal marriage. You got freedom from toxicity, freedom from the devil. You're detaching from that. The way you love can never be matched. You're irreplaceable. And we got tired in the reverse. You're not tired. You're getting a break. You're getting a break. This card reads, you are emotionally exhausted from dealing with everything. You deserve a break now. You're getting your break. You're not emotionally exhausted. You're not tired. You're irreplaceable. The way you love can't be matched. It's like your cup runneth over, your Ace of Cups love. It's always running over. You're irreplaceable. The way you love can never be matched. You're not emotionally exhausted. You're not tired. You're going to go into a place where this won't happen to you. This is what the devil was doing, right? These dark energies, they were sucking the life out of everything and forcing people to process their dark energy. You deserve a break now, but it's in the reverse. So it's like you're detached from that devil. They can't do that to you anymore. They can't exhaust you. They can't take your life force, vitality. Your ability to remain balanced inwardly and mentally has earned you a wish come true. As stable, you're emotionally stable. You got your, you got a life of luxury coming up. I've heard the curator and friends complaining about that too. Apparently you're going to have a life of luxury. It's very beautiful where the collective is going. And you've got this beautiful commitment that wants you to be part of their future. They're not this third-party snake. They actually want you to be part of their future. You're a benefit. So anybody who's looking, excuse me, to build a community or whatever. I guess it's the harvest. Who has passed? Who did the work? Who can maintain a load? When they're hurting, do they still get up and go to work? Do they still get the job done? Are they fast? Are they efficient? Do they do all the things that they need to do? And do they do them to the best of their ability? I guess if anybody's going to take pride in anything, then it would be in applying their own self to a project and having it be done well, you know? I know women feel like that when they're cooking for potluck or whatever. They sit around and the crowd eats their meal and they kind of sit back and they secretly watch to see if everybody's enjoying it or not. And when people really love it, it's like the heart just glows, right? And we get all happy that we're able to nurture people and that they're really enjoying it. Maybe they go back for seconds. It's wonderful when you put forth the effort and you find out that people really love it, you know? Anyway, you choose those who are really going to put their heart and soul into it, who actually loves serving people, you know, not necessarily being a slave or a servant or any of that, but being of service and finding great pleasure and joy in it, you know, while being heavily burdened. There's a lot of stuff going on in the upper realms. It's not a lazy man's game, you know. You got to go up there and you got to do the work. You got to make certain that you participate in the well-being and the success of the community. You know, you bring gifts to the table that improve life. You know, good gifts that last a long time. Flighty, you got this commitment. So not knowing what they're going to do next causes you anxiety. Your commitment is causing somebody anxiety. It says, find love you can count on. What's that say? Oh, wow. Thank you for the gift. I don't know what Turkan is. And I'm not doing a personal reading right now. I'm sorry. So anyway, somebody's having anxiety over this commitment, over your commitment to each other, over your strength. We've got a Knight of Wands here. He's charming, he's fearless, he's unpredictable. Maybe he's letting go of something. There could be that maybe he's being let go. Maybe that's who's feeling the anxiety right now here due to your commitment and your wish come true. It could be that Knight of Wands, you know, this passionate figure is being released because you understand who they are, what their past is with this third party snake, you know. You're all about commitment, loyalty, and building something that is of benefit, not only to your immediate environment, but to your community, right? You bring good gifts. You're not just going to try to, you know, sex your way into a prize or something. Yeah, you have an understanding of their side of the story. They've got broken promises. They broke all their promises. So, you know, Knight of Wands, yeah, sure, he's passionate and everything, but he you can't trust him. You do have a Four of Wands up here, freedom and marriage. You can manage multiple priorities while you remained hopeful for a faithful union. You may have felt like you're alone. You may feel like you're alone. You still have help. You haven't, or hope. You haven't given up on the idea of a union. You feel like you're alone in this situation all by yourself, but it won't be like this forever. So in the outgoing energy, yeah, there is freedom coming. And those who looked at, you know, intimate encounters as just another notch in the headboard, you know, an easy way to get a buck or whatever, they're being moved far away from you. Because when they neglected you, they're guilty of neglect. You're recovering here in the near future. You are recuperating from the neglect. These ones have been found guilty of neglect. This Knight of Wands, they didn't see this coming. You know, it was a blind spot. They were lying. They got some secrets. They're not willing to hear the truth. They're tangled up in a web. They can't free themselves from this sticky situation. It is what it is. They broke their promises, and now they're looking for an exit plan because there's a long, long road that they have to haul where their needs aren't going to be met. They need an exit plan. They're going under. They're going under. Look, they're sinking into the dark, guys. That's what I'm saying. They're in a tower. They got to put other people in south nodes so that they can project out this trauma that they're in right now. And how they do that is through war. They do that through some tragic event, you know, that panics the crowds, that panics the people, that causes pain in people. They're crushed emotionally right now. They're losing everything, and they got to offload it. They need to get back into the light, and that means that they have to stick their stuff on somebody else. They want forgiveness for playing games with love and making you struggle. Yeah, needs. They're having a time of it. They're having a time of it. They played with everybody's hearts, and they're still playing with everybody's heart. They're still playing with the minds and the emotions of people. They're out here right now committing tragedy for the citizenry, and that they absolutely need them in South Node. They got to put this on them, or they got to trap the consciousness of people who are connected. They need to swap. They need to put that energy into South Node and project this tower onto them so that they can then, this is all war ever is. This is what war is. When somebody's losing the proxy war, they actually got to damage flesh temples in order to flip it back. You know, blood rituals. So the strength of two are together, and we've got fear and anxiety. There's no forgiveness for the empty vessel. And we've got the Hermit here shining a light on that. So the vessel is empty. Whoever these people are, they've got their cup is empty. Their cup is empty because what they're doing is clearly seen. There's no forgiveness. It could be that the lovers here, they're in the moon. They might be hidden. Like these ones can't tap into their consciousness anymore. They can't tap into their consciousness. They can't tap into their energy. So there's conflict here, 5 of Wands. There's also a 10 of Wands. They may be heavily burdened right now, and this is a completion of your burden. The Divine stated not too long ago that this was your last lifetime story. Everybody's getting ready to shift. These ones lost. They're not able to mend the connection with the upper dimensional realms, is what it looks like to me. So they're desperate to put other people in South Node and then kind of capture them into this lower vibrational energy so that they will still have an energy source or something like that. Ace of Swords. They lost because the truth is out. The truth is out. And the Most High is like, you know, mad. And it's like Operation Rising Lion. So it's like, I don't know. It's like they want to be, yeah, they got to go collect light bearing. They got to go collect the consciousness of happy, loving, light bearing people in order to swap South Node to North Node. That's what war is. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. And in these other gatherings, these protests and stuff, they're gonna try to cause a catastrophe, which will then cause the military to come in and, you know, traumatize people. That's what I'm picking up on. It's the intent that I'm picking up on out there. We've got the Chariot here. The lovers are in their chariot. They can't see them where they're going. We've got the King of Pentacles here. He's delivering a wealth of discipline to the third-party enemies that were tempted by the snake. And we've got the Empress in the reverse. So there's an Empress in the reverse here. Tempted by the snake. Third party. They're in a tower here, and it could be, you know, singular or plural, micro, macro. This could be more than one. It could be like a collective of a certain mindset, people with a certain mindset. So they're in a tower. It's like that's sticking to them. There's celebration here, though. There's unfinished business, and we got crazy drama. And it's like, how far are you willing to go? These people are, look, they got disconnected again. The Four of Cups. We got Four of Cups. They were disconnected. They're stuck in a crazy drama. They got to try to offload that and put it on other people so that they can then snatch the happiness and the light energy. And I just don't think it's going to work. I don't think God's going to let it happen. Not quite the way they planned it. If anybody transitions, I'm pretty sure they're going to graduate right up. They're just going to go right up. I don't think these people can snatch them at this point. There will be suffering, though. Maybe. I don't know. Be calm. Be calm. So they're upset. They got disconnected from your new beginning. They got disconnected from your new beginning. If anybody transitions out, they're going to go right straight to their new beginning. And you know what? I just don't know if there's going to be a whole bunch of suffering because of innocent beings, because I think that they're just going to go poof and be in the next timeline or something. These ones are really feeling your absence, the absence of being able to attach stuff to your energy. You're the diamond, you're their processor, you were like the star, you know, you were the revitalizer, the one who could transmute black energy. They're really feeling your absence. They got disconnect twice, and Tower. And we've got the Seven of Wands reversed. Scared to fight, feeble-minded, they're having mental problems, lack of courage. They're feeling the absence of your light. They're panicking and they're causing chaos in the hopes that they can continue to do whatever it is they've done. They've lost the spiritual battle, and they're trying to now the battle's here in the 3D, and they're trying to somehow, I don't know what they're trying to do, man. Except for what I've said. So you got the Fool here. There is a new beginning, and they're disconnected from it. You're relaxed. You're recuperating. Maybe you've already done a timeline jump. You're recuperating from the neglect, from not having the things that you need given to you. You're being very fierce, or somebody's being fierce, protecting yourself. Four of Swords. Yeah, again, Four of Swords, Four of Swords. You are in recuperation mode, and you're like, I'm recuperating from all of that neglect. And you're being fierce. You're like, I'm not interested in dealing with the malarkey. You got your Ace of Cups here, and you've gained your freedom from this devilish energy. The way you love can never be matched. You're not tired. They're not siphoning your energy anymore. The devil's not siphoning your energy anymore. You're full of love. The devil, again, the devil is a nasty, impulsive, abusive person. They might be feeling trapped because you're not tired, because they can't tap into your energy. They can't tap into your energy. They're feeling trapped. You're balancing things. There could be some negotiations, or your ability to maintain balance during many things going on has brought you a wish come true. You've earned yourself a commitment. It could be that you're loyal, or that you have abstained. You're not out there dropping, root chakra, sacral chakra energy everywhere all the time. Somebody's having anxiety. It says, find love you can count on. Somebody might be nervous. Somebody might be nervous. You've got this commitment. There's a commitment here. Somebody's having anxiety. Find love you can count on. And we've got the King of Cups here. Like, he may be nervous about coming forth. Hopes and fears. We've got the Knight of Wands here, Mr. Charming, Mr. Passion. And we've got the Hanged Man, letting go, seeing things differently than before. There's an understanding here. They did not keep the promises that they made. They may break your heart, but not your spirit. Ten of Pentacles. They broke your heart for money. Wow. It could be this King of Cups. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. I think King of Cups might be having a little anxiety about coming forward. You may be in a spiritual connection with this person. It may be a dimensional union, and they may be having a little bit of anxiety coming forward because of this Knight and all this crap going on that they have laid upon you. Using their wand or using their passion energy to get into your energy so that they could take your spiritual inheritance or whatever. They broke all their promises. Could be that they're getting dealt with the Hanged Man here for doing that, because there's an understanding that they broke their promises for money. Ooh, the Emperor. The Emperor. You got the Four of Wands here, freedom and marriage, because you can manage yourself very well, because you're emotionally stable and mentally stable, and you're a loving being. Balanced, harmonious, interested in love. You wish for faithful and loyal union. You never gave up hope for it, even though maybe it wasn't in your life. You feel like you're all alone, but it won't be that way forever. You've got the Emperor here. The Emperor. He's an authority figure, and he's restoring structure. He's got control of the structure. He might be, yeah, the Emperor. Foundation keeper. You're not going to be alone forever. The Emperor is here. The Emperor is here. And we've got Page of Wands. So there's a new journey, or there's a confident, fearless, enthusiastic romance in the future. A union. Oh. Pull these ones. Should I pull these ones? No, I'm not going to pull those ones. Hope you're all doing well. Well, I see all the hearts. Thank you. Thank you for the love. So the lovers are here, the strength of two together. There's like this, like I said, there's contracts that were made between this realm or this plane and a step up. It was so cute when I saw them. He leaned down like he was leaning out of a windowsill and to kiss his person on, and she had her chin up and they were kissing there. They had their little 8.5 by 5.5 piece of paper with like 6 lines of type on it, which was their contract. It's amazing. Not complicated at all. So deep love of two together, and it could be hidden. It might be that these ones are just in extreme fear and anxiety about it. It could be that because these ones are there, see, you got gifts. You got gifts as a light bearer, as a Christed being, as one of these entities that embodied the essence of the sun. You're full of this light, and in this union with an upper dimensional being, you're very, very powerful, and your new spouse is like bringing havoc to these people. He could be an emperor. They're having fear and anxiety. They haven't received forgiveness for their third party, tempted by the snake, Empress reversed ways, and there's no graduating up for them. They're an empty vessel. They were not able to take from you. They didn't work for anything. They've just been taking it, harvesting it from people. They're in grief because you've got the Hermit here shining a light on it, doing research. They know very, very well that their cup is empty. They did not do the work to turn the light on inside of them. And in the Bible, it talks about whatever, having your light on, get your candle on, something like that. I'm not religious, so I don't really know how that goes, but apparently there was going to come a time when you needed to have your light on or your oil burning or something like that. And these guys just don't have it. They don't have any light in them. And so it could be that they're trying to get some so that they can get this new beginning. They've been disconnected from it. They're trying to get some light. They're not able to mend the connection. They have lost because the truth is here. And they're in fear. They're in fear. They're in fear. The truth is out. Why do I have to know these things, man? I'm not a political person. You got your Chariot here. You got a victory. There is a King of Pentacles. He's delivering a wealth of discipline to this third party. Empress reversed energy that was tempted by the snake. Discipline. Discipline again. Double discipline. This third party tempted by the snake, Empress reversed. Do what you need to do with the genders. Dependence, smothering, emptiness, empty vessel, nosy, disruptive, third party. They're not about being a mother. They're not about nurturing anybody. They're not about creating anything. They're receiving discipline from this King of Pentacles, a wealth of discipline from a masculine, divine masculine. So they're in a tower, but there's a celebration here for the community. There's unfinished business. They're in a crazy drama. How far are you willing to go? They've been disconnected. They're having a very negative outlook. They've been disconnected from the mind. They've been disconnected from the upper realms. God rejected them. They're an empty vessel. Their light's not on. They've been harvesting light and dressing up in it, pretending. Disconnected from your new beginning. They made life very hard for you. You're a bright and shining diamond. They're feeling your absence. It was your light that was processing and transmuting their darkness. It was your light that they were harvesting and dressing up in. They've been cut off. They don't have any courage. They could be feeble-minded, like something's going on with their mental body. Yeah, again, no courage. Seven of Wands reversed. You've got a new beginning here. You are recuperating from all of the neglect, and you are recuperating again. You've got the Four of Swords here in your near future, ×2. They failed to give you what you needed, and you're recovering from that neglect. There's going to be a renewal. You're going to take a break. You're being a little fierce right now. You might not be ready for love. You may have to, what do they call that when a space person comes back from outer space? They got to decompress or something. They got to acclimate. We got solitude. You got to go do some healing. Service. Service. Fierce. We got service. I feel good when I can help others. So you're a being of service. You're not a servant. You're not a slave. You're not here to be a rug or a carpet for anybody, have them wipe their feet on you. You are here to help others, and they neglected you. They took everything from you and they neglected you. You're healing. You're recovering. You're acting aggressive. Soften your heart so you can feel again. So it's like these experiences have really got people shut down, and they're trying desperately. They want to put people back into this chaos, and they're going to hurt people to do it. Your love is free from this devilish energy. You are detached. The way you love is irreplaceable. Oh my gosh. You're not tired. They can't drain you of your energy anymore. You've got this devil here who is feeling trapped. They're being nasty and abusive right now. And we've got death. So they're playing with death. They could have a death coming to them. This is what they're delivering right now. They're being very nasty. They got separated from your love. They got detached from you. So what are they trying to do? They're trying to reattach to people by putting them in fear, chaos, and suffering energy. Has nothing to do with protecting themselves, unless they're, they're cheating. They have to accept the things. Wait, we got Two of Pentacles here. So your ability to manage yourself when lots and lots of stuff is happening has earned you a wish come true. You're very stable mentally, emotionally, and you're stable in your commitment. You may have come here. You may not remember what your goal was, what your intention was. You got messed around so hard by these energy hijackers and mental manipulators, but you stayed true. There could be some anxiety here from a King of Cups who loves you, or maybe there's a King of Cups who wants to be affectionate. They're having anxiety. Maybe they want to approach you to offer you a commitment. Maybe they're this here, and they just haven't met you yet, but they're in the environment. They're a little worried about that. Well, we've got acceptance. So take that as it resonates. Knight of Wands, Mr. Passion, Mr. Charming. We've got Hanged Man. Could be seeing from a new perspective, or could be getting released because you have an understanding of what their side of the story is. They broke all the promises that they made. They broke people's hearts over and over again, but they could not break the spirit. All for money. All for money. They tried to get this 10 of Pentacles here. They broke their promises regarding a 10 of Pentacles union, or regarding the wealth. Oh, they brought adversity. Adversity. They broke their promises for money by bringing adversity to you. And there's a change here. There's a change to the scenario. Four of Wands union. You got your freedom from that. You're in a union. You're going to be managing multiple priorities, or maybe you still are. It's all about union and love and balance. It's a settling of the energy. You're very settled. You never gave up hope on a faithful, devoted union. You feel like you're alone right now, but it won't be this way forever. And you've got an emperor there. So we could be talking about an emperor, or maybe there's an emperor coming to you. Abundance. A limitless being, and you can manifest whatever you desire in the physical reality. There could be a King of Cups that's having anxiety regarding your commitment. You could be in a commitment with this Emperor, and this King of Cups has to accept the things that they cannot change. You're already in a commitment. He might have something to do with this passion, charming thing being released for breaking promises, for money. Take it as it resonates. We'll go ahead and pull, we'll go ahead and pull these cards. Maybe we'll pull that one too. We'll see where we go. I know this is a very long video, but it's live. Light versus dark, light versus dark, the strength of two together. We've got the moon, so something's hidden. Somebody's in fear and anxiety regarding this. The Hermit's shining a light on stuff, doing research, and somebody's not getting forgiveness. Their cup is empty. They could be empty on the inside. There's no light shining in them. They're in grief. They've been cut. They've been busted. They might be having premonitions. They might be having mental issues. They're getting loca in the cabeza. Sick. Feeling fragile. Feeling fragile. The strength of these power couples together, their light is so powerful. These ones have been separated from the light, so it's like they're in the shadow, but yet you've got this bright, powerful light, and they're definitely, they can't get in the energy. They can't get in the energy. They can't get in the mind. They're stuck in their own shadow. They're in a tower. They're trying to offload it onto somebody else or a collective of somebody else. They're sick. They need to offload this onto somebody else. They're feeling weak. They're feeling fragile. They're being eaten alive by their shadow. Five of Wands, conflict. We got a 10 of Wands, a burden. It's a completion of your burden. We've got the World here too. This is over for you. These ones are not going to be able to mend their connection. They have lost. They're in fear because the truth is out. We got ready. There's preparations being made. They got to get ready for the truth. There's some kind of an arrangement being made. We got the Chariot here. There's control. There's a victory for the lovers, the strength of two together. We've got the King of Pentacles delivering a wealth of discipline to a third party, Empress reversed, who was tempted by the snake. And we've got double discipline here for emptiness. An empty vessel, a codependent, nosy, manipulative. Oh. Well, it came out in the reverse. We got a third party here, tempted by the snake, Empress reversed. We've got discipline. You can accomplish whatever you set your mind to, and there we got fear in the reverse. So whoever's handling out this discipline, they're not afraid. They're not paranoid. They know they got it. They got this handled. Maybe they're going to teach this person how to become disciplined. I don't know. Tower, somebody's in a tower. They're in chaos. Complete upheaval, but somebody's celebrating this. Unfinished business. They're stuck in a crazy drama. How far are you willing to go? They've got the Four of Cups here. They've got a negative outlook. They're thinking about it. What do I do? What do I do? With the imagination card. It could be that they've been disconnected from the collective's field of awareness, their consciousness. They've been disconnected by the Most High Divine from the mind of the collective. They can no longer tap in. They've been stealing intellectual property, ideas, and intuitive messages, and then claiming them as their own while they've been living in the dark and projecting their nasty energy onto light-bearing people. Natural disaster. Frustration, risk. Again, we've got the Four of Cups here, so there's a disconnection from your new beginning, your innocent new beginning. You've got an adventure ahead of you. They're feeling your absence. You're a bright, shining diamond. They made life very difficult for you. They're scared to fight. They're feeble-minded. They're lacking courage. And then we have the Courage card in the reverse also. Oh, they're lacking courage because you've reached your goals. You've reached your goals. You've got a new beginning here, and they're disconnected from it. And it's like the Most High Divine has said, no, you're not going to go up a notch. You're not leveling up. You're not going to graduate. And it's like, so they're trying to pull others down, pull energies back down. They need an energy source. They're worried. They're worried about energy sources. They don't have any energy inside of them. They never turned their light on. They don't know how to energize themselves or to manage that themselves. They've always been dependent on somebody else, you know, suffering so that they can, suffering in a conflict so that they can, I guess, be the winner or whatever. Conflict. Yeah, they've been wearing masks of good, moral, upright humans, and they've been fighting and creating conflict with the being, the one who is actually the being of love, the good, moral, kind human who is actually a being of love. Whoever these people, these dark energies are, they've been wearing masks, pretending to be this person and creating conflict with them while pretending to be them. Because they wanted to stop their fate. They wanted to stop their fate. So they caused a lot of stress in their mental body. So that's what they were doing. You've got a new beginning here. You're resting and recuperating ×2 from the neglect that you had to deal with. You're being aggressive, or somebody's being aggressive on your behalf. You've got service. You're in service. You feel good when you can help others. It might be time for you to take a break. This might be nearly over. Whatever this is, protest. You feel good when you can help others. Somebody is protesting. They feel inadequate. The truth is out regarding their empty vessel. They don't have a light on. They're not forgiven for what they've been doing. You've got an Ace of Cups here. Your love, your compassion is detached. You're detached from the devil. The way you love is irreplaceable. Nobody can love like you. You're not tired. They can't drain you anymore. But we do have the devil here in the upright, feeling trapped. Somebody's feeling trapped. Somebody's getting real nasty. They're acting impulsively, temperamental. They're being abusive. And we've got death here. So it's like they want to bring a death for love. They could be experiencing death. They might be, whatever they're doing to the people or planning on doing to the people, it might backfire on them. Maybe it has. And now here in the 3D, rather than absorb that themselves, they're trying to project it out onto others. They've lost in the 3D or in the 5D already. The devil is being real nasty. There's death. Third wheel enemy. Third wheel enemy. Death. Devil. Third wheel enemy. Nasty, impulsive. They can't harvest your energy. They're not able to harvest energy. Even if they cause suffering and, unaliving of people, they can't harvest the energy. God's claiming it all. The Most High is claiming all the energy. They can't take it. They're trying to trap people in a state of injury and suffering, maybe. Maybe they're trying to do that. Your ability to manage multiple priorities is bringing you a wish come true. You're emotionally stable. You're energetically stable. You are committed. There is a commitment here. You're in a commitment. You're getting a wish come true commitment. You've got somebody here that doesn't know, they're having anxiety because they don't know what you're going to do next. It looks like it's a King of Cups who has to accept things that they cannot change. Because you're stable, you're in harmony, you've got a personal harmony here, and you're coming into your jackpot, your good fortune. So, yeah, they have to accept the things that they cannot change. It could be that there is a King of Cups here that is finding the love they can count on. Maybe they're a little nervous about it, actually meeting you in person. Mr. Passion, Mr. Charming is here with the Hanged Man. They could be getting let go because you have an understanding of what they've been doing. They've been breaking all of their promises regarding love, regarding any agreements that they have made, and they've been doing it for money. They've been bringing adversity to people for money, for wealth, for energy, for status, for stuff. There's a change here. A Hanged Man change, a release, a sacrifice. Ooh, Origin in the reverse. This is vitality in the reverse. This is a family tree. So it's getting flipped on its head. There's no vitality. There is no energy. Their whole tree, their whole family tree could be getting flipped because of the adversity that they've been bringing to people for money. Wearing masks, pretending to be them and causing conflict. On the outgoing energy, we do have the Four of Wands here, freedom and marriage. Because you can manage yourself well, you're a good addition to this community. You never gave up hope on loyal, faithful unions. You feel like you're alone right now, but it won't be like this forever. We've got an Emperor here, who has control of the structure and the abundance. He could be in a limitless, abundant being. You could be in a limitless abundant being. Maybe you both are. Look, he's bringing a stop to this. He's bringing a stop to this. This is over. This is over. This is over. For you. Somebody's worried. They got two angels on either side of the shoulder there. They could be stopped. The Emperor is stopping them with this abundant energy, with this abundant limitless potential that he's got. He's bringing a stop to this. People are worried. He could be king of that mountain there. He could be like the winner. He could be like this lion. What is that? Aslan or whatever. Those who are doing magic on your high quality, high values, on your worth, on your value. They were doing magic on the way people saw you. They're getting confined. They're losing their freedom. And you, because you were able to remain calm and hold your inner peace, meditate, do whatever it is to get your mind right, you're getting a soulmate, eternal love. I can't see that. Well, maybe I should pull one more. I think this is pretty clear though. I think this is pretty clear what's going on. You've got some folks there that are in a tower. They have no energy. They've been cut out of your mind. They can't harvest your intellectual property anymore. They can't intercept your messages from the Most High. So they can't claim these divine messages to be their own while wearing a mask and portraying themselves as you. They've been rejected by the Most High. It looks like to me they're not graduating. They can't go up a dimension. So they're desperate to put people in South Node energy and to trap them in some sort of a state of suffering so that they can harvest that energy and hopefully project this tower onto them. That's exactly what they're trying to do right now. They're in an amazing tower, and their only way out is because they've lost this battle in this spirit. Their only way out is to cause a trauma for people in the 3D, in their flesh suits. They need to cause people this anguish so that they can offload the loss that they have experienced here and try to save face. They're in protest. It looks like their entire family tree is being flipped upside down because of the adversity that they brought to people, breaking promises for money. Third wheel enemy, devils. We got death right here. Maybe I should, I don't know, what's that? We got, yeah. So the devil is feeling trapped, being nasty and abusive. They're third wheel enemies. They're not faithful or loyal to anybody or anything. They're not trustworthy. So they're dabbling in the energy of death. They could be having that come to them. I mean, they're in this tower. Their mental body is falling apart. They could be having hauntings in their house. They may be having personal energetic disturbances within their temples. Any entities that they've been calling forth and working with may be feasting on them right now because they can no longer feed it your light. They've got to drop people into South Nodes so that they can harvest that energy, and then they're trying to save themselves is what they're trying to do. And they're making up stories that other people are threatening them so that they can hurt them and then harvest the energy. It's all a big facade. They're going under, and they need to try to swap places with somebody here in a 3D, and that's the name of the game. That's war. That is 3D blood ritual war. It's a swap for a battle that they've lost, or a harvest that went wrong they weren't able to get you. The Most High God came and claimed you. He wants it all. He wants it all. I honestly don't think that anybody who's hurt at this time that is of the light, that is of the Most High, that is connected to Source, I honestly believe that their soul and their energy will be fine if they can just remain calm. If they just don't go chaos and then, you know, start, you know, soul shattering, you know, having a heart shattering. They got to know that this is what's happening here. They're trying to stick them in south nodes so that they can swap places with them. So people really need to just not take that gift, you know, even if somebody causes trauma or drama or a chaotic situation where people actually get hurt. Remain disciplined and don't get paranoid. Know that this is purposeful, and it's purposeful because it's like somebody cut the head off the snake and you know, it's writhing around everywhere. Or the chicken that gets its head cut off and it's running around spraying everybody, you know, chaos is erupting, and that's the way that goes. I hope that this brings clarity to something that you may have already knew or intuitively knew. It looks to me like the dimensional shift or the step up is going to happen real soon. We're in the, it sounds to me like we're in the final moments, because in the near future, you've got 4 of Swords out here, and you're recovering, taking a break, you're healing, and you've got people out here protesting your service. It's like your thoughts, your ideas, your perception of reality, you're right in alignment with the Most High and Divine Family. And you've got these brand new, beautiful soul connections. But these people, they don't like your perspective on reality or the services that you offer. And they're just mad because you're being fierce about it. You might be acting aggressive toward them. They're acting aggressive. Take it as it resonates. Thanks for being here, everybody. And I'm going to go ahead and shut this video off, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.